What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? This is Nee Shobo, and this is the Sports Motivation Podcast live on YouTube. I'm excited to be here, man. It's been a long time coming. Whether you're watching this live or watching this on the replay, I'm glad you're with us. And yeah, this is my intro. This is my welcome, welcoming you all and welcoming myself to this platform. Um, I've dabbled a little bit on YouTube, but I'm excited to start getting at it consistently and sharing this game with you all to help you build your mindset and dominate your sport. That's what it's about. It's about becoming the best version of yourself as an athlete and developing your mindset and developing the ability to be able to show up consistently and dominate on game day. That's what it's about. It's about being able to perform when it matters most. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nee Shobo, and I'm a mindset coach. I've been at it for about 15 years now. Um, Teaching athletes the mindset that they need to dominate their sport. I've worked with over 300 athletes all over the globe, teaching them how to overcome the mental hurdles and being able to show up and perform the best when it matters most. All right. So, a little bit about me. I grew up playing soccer. You know, I was the third of four boys, Nigerian father. I grew up playing soccer, and I started playing football at about seventh grade, and I fell in love with football. Um, was never the biggest, the fastest, or the strongest, but I had a real passion for it, as I'm sure you all do with whatever sport it is that you're playing. You have a passion for it, and that passion got me far. Played in high school, then went to college, played at Oregon State, and was a walk on there, which is basically like an unpaid intern, So, and then transferred to Portland State and ultimately got picked up by the New Orleans Saints as an undrafted free agent and played 2 years with the Saints before my career was cut short due to injury. All right. So after that, I began training athletes and just training them in the gym. And I noticed that they needed a lot more than that. It wasn't all the athletes were worried about getting bigger and faster, stronger. But so many of them lacked the mindset that was required to perform at a high level. Because I had just come from New Orleans, from the Saints, and was playing with guys like Drew Brees, Reggie Bush, Jonathan Vilma, some of the best to ever do it. And I was able to see what their approach was. And I knew it was way more than just what they did physically and how they trained. It was their mindset, it was their approach. And I started transitioning to focus more on the mindset and the things that athletes needed to do in order to develop that mindset and what was holding them back. I was coaching for this football team, a local high school team, when I came back to Portland after I got back from New Orleans. And these guys were young. It was like, a freshman JV team. And there was a kid there who was really, really talented, had all the tools, even all the confidence, or so it seemed. And there was a time where, this kid, he got basically burned. He was a defensive back and he got burned. They scored a touchdown on him. And when he came out the game, the head coach for the team that I was, assisting with, just ripped this guy, man, just really just berated him in front of everybody, cursed him out. And I just watched the confidence just drain from this kid's whole body. And he was never the same after that. His mindset changed. Right. So nothing he didn't get hurt. He didn't get physically hurt. Something happened with his mind, and his game went off a cliff that day. And that taught me something. And I were related to that because there were times in my career where I experienced the same thing. All right. And it brought me to, and I'm gonna tell you guys another story when I was in college, right? Just to illustrate to you the importance of mentality, because I don't want you to take it for granted. It's now more than ever, people are just obsessed with the external things, like whatever tool and trick you need, new electrolyte powder and new stretches and new routines, and all these things are valuable, of course. But if you don't have the mindset, none of that stuff matters. So I was in at Portland State, and it was my last year there, and it was my first year starting. Right, so the guy in front of me, he had gotten hurt, and so now it was my turn to start. And my first game starting, I thought I had a pretty good game. I had about 80 something yards rushing. I think I had a touchdown, had some receiving yards as well. Wasn't a perfect game, but I thought I played pretty well. And went to practice the following week. And my coach, his name's Coach Geske, man, great coach. And he had a way with getting the best out of his players. He understood the importance of mindset. So he knew how to motivate his players. And he walked up to me as we were stretching, and he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "How'd you think you did?" And I was like, "I think I did pretty well." He said, "Hmm." He said, "I had one of my good friends, old coach and good friend of mine, he was watching, and he said, that number 34, that was my number. He said, that 34, he's pretty big and strong, he said, but his pass blocking is pretty soft." And he was saying that that's what his friend said. And he said that and just walked off. And that really, my ego was really, really hurt by that, because I'd always considered myself a really tough player. And I didn't like the idea of being called soft. From that day forward, I was the most ferocious pass blocker that I know my coach had ever seen. And to the point where later on in that season, the scout from the Indianapolis Colts came to watch practice, and they were watching my film in the film room, and they told me that if I was to be put on the Colts at that moment, I'd be the best blocker that they had, because my mindset changed. Nothing changed with my technique. My coach was able to say something to me to get me to view myself differently and view my job as a pass blocker differently. And that changed my results. That's what earned me a role in the NFL, or part of what earned me a role in a spot in the NFL. What would have happened if my coach didn't do that and didn't understand how to leverage my mindset? I don't know. We'll never know. But mindset is everything. All right. So I'm going to be teaching you guys through this YouTube channel. I'm going to be teaching you guys 3 areas. I'm going to be focusing on 3 areas: mindset, strategy, and systems and habits. All right. So first, when I say mindset, here's what I mean by this. I'm talking about what you believe is true, what you think is true, how you see yourself, how you view reality. This shapes what you do. Right now, some of you are in situations as an athlete, and you're viewing your situation as though you have no control over it. Some of you believe that you won't be able to accomplish your goals. Some of you have beliefs that go even deeper, which create fear, trepidation, hesitation, doubt. All of this shapes what you do. All right. So we're going to be focusing heavily on understanding the mindset and learning how to change your own mindset, learning how to alter your mindset so that you can accomplish what you want. All right. Most athletes, what they do is they just try harder. They do more things. They might find more tricks, more tactics, but they never really address the issue. All right. But we're going to address those issues. And the second thing is strategy. All right. So when I talk about strategy, I'm talking about the methods and the approach you take to your goals, assuming you have goals. This implies that you have goals in the first place. You must have goals, and you have to have a plan and a strategy to accomplish those goals. And I'm going to be teaching you some very powerful tools and strategies for clarifying what you want and mapping it out, holding yourself accountable. This is very, very important that you have a strategy, right? When I was in college and I went to Oregon State, I was there for 3 seasons. And I saw the writing on the wall, if you will, that they weren't going to give me a scholarship. Now, they kept kind of dragging me along and telling me that they were, but I was able to see what they were doing. I understood the larger game at play. They didn't have enough scholarships to give me, but of course they wanted me still there. So they would tell me things in order to kind of get me motivated to stay there. But I realized if I was going to reach my goal, my ultimate goal, I needed to take a different route. If I would have stayed at Oregon State, there's no telling what would have happened or if I would have been able to get to the NFL. But I had to make a move. And when I made that move, there were a lot of people who thought it was the bad move. But that was because they weren't thinking in terms of what my goals were and what the best strategy was. They were thinking short term. So you've got to have a strategy for how you plan to accomplish your goals. All right. And lastly, systems and habits. All right. Most athletes, they're just doing things, they're just going. And if you're on the right track, you're working hard and you're putting in the effort, right? But that's not enough. You've got to have systems. So most athletes, they don't have efficient and effective systems for how they do things. The best athletes are routined. They have rituals for everything. All right. And I'm going to be teaching you the right habits and the right systems that are required for you to dominate at a high level consistently. So whatever stage of career that you are, whether you're 10 years old or you're already established pro, I'm going to be teaching you how to approach your craft like a true professional. That's the standard that you have to hold for yourself. All right. So mindset, strategy, systems, and habits. All right. So I look forward to getting to know you all more and connecting with you guys in the chat. I want you to go to imnotyou.com/consultation for a free 45-minute consultation. All right. You can ask me questions and I'm going to help you develop a strategy and a plan of attack to accomplish your goals and dominate your sport. All right. We're going to be going live every Wednesday and Friday at minimum, maybe even more, but you can count on Wednesday and Friday. All right. So much love. I'm going to see you guys soon. Peace out.